Now, most revered Mataji, today my topic is creative ideas of Sister Nivedita. That's the sub-theme. Now, we all know that Sister Nivedita was brought to India by Swamiji for the express purpose of spreading education among women. But lest it should be unknown, see that those students whom she was teaching, they were not totally ignorant. Once Swami Shardanand mentioned this to Sister Nivedita that our women are very ignorant. But she retorted back and said, no, they are not at all ignorant. Why? They know by heart the Mahabharata and the Ramayana. So, because Swamiji had already told her how she would go about transacting education in India without disturbing the cultural roots. The education must be totally deeply rooted in Indian culture. That means it must be indigenous. First, she should see for herself, she saw for herself all the ways of living in India, and accordingly she planned the curriculum. So the children were part of the curriculum she planned. So not like the curriculum that is planned in Delhi for Guntur, that we have to plan it according to the local conditions that is available. So that makes what we call education really relevant to the children. So that way it was very relevant for the children because she studied, first Nivedita studied the conditions. So what were the creative ideas was both heart as well as head and then the hands, all the three have to be involved for the complete growth of a personality. For the head, she had planned out subjects like geography, history. Geography would give them a sense of world and history would give them a sense of time. But then for teaching history, she wouldn't just read out the books. Everything would be, now you all have audiovisual aids. But those experiences would be really visually, as if they were visualizing the whole process of education. That's why they were made to be involved. Children must be involved. It must be a joyous experience. It's not something that you are going to filter into them, but it must be something that blossoms out from them. So when she was narrating some of the episodes from history, for example, when she was explaining history about Padmini, the Rani of Chittor, she would be lost in that experience when she was on that burning fire, and then on the fire she was laid out, and Sister Nivedita would be totally lost in that experience, and the children could actually visualize what would have happened in that case. What would be the last cause of Padmini? And children really got the experience. Perhaps they didn't have one of her gadgets there, but she was a living example for them to understand what Padmini felt in the last moment. And then geography also would give them a sense of time. So she would relate stories from the Mahabharata and Ramayana and place those and just ask them where the places were. For example, Rajgir and other Chittor, and while explaining, she would just tell them in which places, in which directions they were located. So that gave them a sense of time. That was history as well as geography, and cultural rules were intact. So they could relate themselves because they knew the stories of Ramayana and Mahabharata. So, and for history, she would also relate some stories of what you call, not only this, she would conduct some field trips also for that. Field trips, whatever they learned, those things were supplemented by field trips. So they would see for themselves. For example, she would take them to Belur Math, she would take them to Dakshineshwar. That was also part of their education trips. Now we take them on education trips to different places within the country, but she couldn't afford that. Though she wanted to take the children, but she couldn't afford. But that, she made it a very rich and learning experience for all the children. And then about her teaching of arithmetic, that was really very innovative. We also try to use some of her methods, like, she would just teach them, for the small children, the sensory organs have to be developed. By touching things, children learn very concrete. A concrete experience, if it is there for the children, they learn fast. But today what we do, we write 1, 2, 3 on the board. It's too abstract for the children. So when you just say, how many of you are there in the class, count. How many things you have in your hand, count. How many pencils are there, they are able to touch. This is called multi-sensory approach. This is now being followed. Now CBSE is also trying to follow what system, but some modification. But CBSE is also trying to follow this method of Sister Nivedita. And then, moreover, sensory touch means this skill, no creature in the creation can have this skill. That is why we say Jnana Mudra, isn't it? So, refining it, tuning it for needlework and craft, she developed that Jnana Mudra. Actually, that Jnana Mudra sense, no other animal on this planet has. All, even monkeys have this much only they can come. But only human beings can have this touch. So she just tuned it for what you call embroidery. In fact, in our children in Arunachal, who are very close to nature, they do excellent handicraft because they are not exposed to this all the modern world. They are live in human nature. So this sense is highly developed in the children there. So that shows when you are close to nature, these things come very naturally to you. So education must develop these talents in children, which are really homegrown. Actually, that is the children you must have seen, when you give them a pencil, they start drawing. So all these explode and exploited to develop the children. So that's why most of the children, whoever learned, it was very spontaneous. It was not something fed and like the drudgery which the children experience today, and when they come out of the school, they are very dull. There is no joyous experience at all. But then her children were very happy with the process because she herself would teach them painting. Another creative process she used was when she would ask about who the Queen of India was, when she asked the children. Then immediately they said, Sita is the Queen Victoria is the Queen of India.
After 8 minutes over.
Goodness gracious me, time is too much.
Like Nakshatra time. And so nice speeches are going on. I'm very sorry that because time limit is there.
Okay.
And we will
I
discuss
just
this.
wind up. Okay. And inculcate patriotic sense. She made them that Vajra symbol. They did it, and then it was exhibited in the Calcutta Museum. And one more thing she was, and then she made them sing Vande Mataram when it was prohibited. So music, drawing, art, everything was this. That was for an all-round personality. Today we call them an all-round personality, but one personality is not developed. And to add to it, to put a check on you, just like Mataji said, control of sense organs, and this, the brothers were also introduced in her curriculum. That was her curriculum, in fact. So we have just only outlined the points, so it's left to you for discussion.